Hey, Wes, how did that go?
Not ideal if you're a Warriors fan. It was a stark reminder that the balance of power in the Western Conference has completely shifted.
I don't think the Warriors have any power in the Western Conference based on what we saw. The
Right.
Clippers came in and beat the Warriors 141-122 in the debut of Chase Center, which inauspicious is a good word, I think. I'm not great
Sure.
with words, but inauspicious seems right. The Clippers could have scored 160 if they really put their minds to
Right.
it. The Warriors are nothing like the Warriors that we've seen in the past. In a new building, new city, a little bit of new jerseys, all this stuff. It almost felt like they were an expansion team that got luckily awarded Stephen Curry at the beginning of the year. They were egregiously bad, and I just don't know if it's going to get any better here. Like that's my concern.
It's a really tough opening night for them. I mean, they're trying to start the Chase Center era off with a win, obviously, but to draw the Clippers in your first game,
Yeah.
who are by many standards the best team in the league already.
Yeah.
This was a team that during media day and before the preseason were saying things like it's a new roster, it's exciting. This is Steve Kerr was talking about that he's excited about coaching this team.
Yeah.
The preseason went along, and you kind of feel like they slowly realized more and more what they were really up against. And tonight they faced what they are going to be up against on the worst of nights.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the NBA. He was unbelievable. The Warriors learned that the hard way when they played the Raptors last year. He goes to a new team. Nothing has changed. The Clippers kept their core from last year's team that took 2 games off the Warriors in the playoffs together and added Kawhi Leonard. Things were always going to work out in their path. What was most glaring, and it wasn't surprising, I don't want to say it's surprising, but what was most glaring was just how bad the Warriors were defensively. Draymond Green could have been cloned, and you could have had 3 of them out there, and I don't think it was going to stop anything that the Clippers were doing. Even when they had a good defensive possession, the Clippers scored. Technically speaking, the Clippers had, if you feel effective field goal percentage is the barometer of a great offensive game, they shot 61% just field goal percentage. They had a 73% effective field goal percentage. There's only been 11 games in NBA history since 1983 when they started keeping that stat that are better than that. Not in Clippers history, in NBA history. That was one of the great offensive performances in NBA regular season history. And again, what is to say that that's just not the norm, other than the Clippers are really good, the Warriors are not good on defense, and maybe other teams won't be as good as the Clippers. But I don't think the Warriors are going to have any part in stopping anybody in the near future, at least.
No, I mean, and look, you gotta give the Clippers a little bit of credit also because they shot 56% from 3-point range.
Yeah.
Which is, you mentioned the historic numbers there. That plays right into it. That said, the Warriors just kept giving up open
Right.
shots. There's a reason they shot 56%, and they didn't just give up open shots from the 3-point line. They couldn't stop the pick and roll whatsoever, and they couldn't stop really anything. And once everything basically opened up for the Clippers, it just became really easy. And I think you're absolutely right. They could have scored more had they left their players in the game. They ended up playing scrubs. 5 minutes left into left in the game there. So if you're the Warriors, there is a real concern that this is going to be. And look, I don't see the way right now that the Warriors don't finish the year with a bottom 10 defense. I think that's been out there.
I said
about
it was going to be bottom half, almost guaranteed.
it might be bottom 5.
It
if
might.
we really look at this. Draymond Green dealt with an injury tonight already.
Great start.
We're talking about one, not elite defender. We're talking about one good defender on the Warriors right now. The only good defender.
Well,
I think
the 2 good defenders that they have both got injured tonight.
Kevon Looney as well.
Yeah.
And I think when you talk about Draymond Green, he's really the only good perimeter defender.
Yes.
And most nights he'll have to either be a front court defender or a perimeter defender.
Yeah.
The only other guy that's even close to that is Eric Pascal. He's a rookie, and he's dealing with being a rookie.
Yeah.
And it's very telling that the Warriors at the end of the first half, when they were still in the game technically,
Yeah.
had 2 rookies in their end of half lineup, which should mirror your end of game lineup, and they had Jordan Poole and Eric Pascal out there. That's what they're dealing with.
And it's not like they're number 1 overall picks either. I mean, you're dealing with Jordan Poole, a guy who wasn't even necessarily mock drafted, like at all, and
considered a reach in the second round or in the
he was a first round.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of people who covered the draft that didn't think he was going to get drafted at all.
Yeah.
I think that he's proven that he has something, but he's not a defender. I don't know if you want him on the floor in crunch time, but as a nice bench player, yeah. And then Pascal, who I'm in on Pascal. Don't get me wrong, but like. He got drafted at 41 for a reason, or whatever it was. I mean, he wasn't even the Warriors' second draft pick.
Well, the point is that they're rookies, right?
Those are the best options.
And those are the best options as rookies.
I was not thrilled with the offense either. As much as you want to look at the Warriors got 121 points, like I didn't see any cohesion between Stephen Curry and D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell went off for 10 points to get this crowd into it a little bit, but. Then what did he do? He sat out for the next 52 points. He just had nothing. It's going to take a while on that side of the court as well for them to develop anything. It's all just very deeply concerning. This was the worst case scenario in so many options. And you look at like a team like Oklahoma City, a game that normally you'd look at, this is their next upcoming game on Sunday, you go, Oklahoma City, that's a down year, young team, all this stuff. I mean, what happens if they do something like this again? Oklahoma City will beat them.
Right.
And I just, you don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill. They played arguably the best team in the NBA. They put together a god-awful performance. But if Stephen Curry doesn't score 40 points enough, I just don't know the path to victory for the Warriors because they can't hang their hat on defense in any area. I don't think D'Angelo Russell is enough to really impact the game. And they don't have any real offensive players outside of Curry and Russell. Your third best offensive player right now is Jordan Poole. Like, that just doesn't get the job done.
Steph said in his press conference after the game that the Clippers had that third quarter that has been typical for the Warriors over the last few years. And Steph, coming out in the third quarter, was pressing. You could tell. He was trying to get that three. And for his part, he did a good job. I mean, like you said, the offense cratered when he was off the court.
Yep.
And that's going to probably be the case for most of the season. I think it'll get a little bit better as D'Angelo Russell gets his legs under him. I don't think even D'Angelo Russell would tell you that he's fully conditioned in game shape yet. Once he gets into mid-season form, that should be mitigated a little bit.
Yeah.
However, the flip side of playing the Clippers is, yes, they have Kawhi Leonard. They are going to get Paul George eventually.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
But they also have two guys, Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell, who are the anchors of that offense.
As we saw
last year. And so
there
is no reprieve for the Warriors when Kawhi goes to the bench. They have the anchor in Kawhi for the starting unit, and they have the anchor for that bench unit, which is a big reason why the Clippers won 48 games last year was because of Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. So that's not going to be the case most nights. Now, if you're Curry, I think you try to understand that and say, all right, maybe in lieu of defense, you're able to go out there in that third quarter, have that traditional Steph Curry snowballing of an offense, and maybe do what the Clippers did to them tonight. The Clippers scored 46 points in that third quarter.
Yeah.
If you're Curry, maybe your best defense is a good offense.
The issue is that so many of those third quarter runs that the Warriors have done, that they made a trademark of, were predicated on great defense. It was defense turning into offense, the fast break. They don't have any of that.
Right.
I mean, and their defense is so bad, there were multiple occasions when the Warriors were lucky enough to score a basket, they would get burned in transition off of an inbounds, dead ball under the basket, burned in transition. The only team in the NBA that used to be able to do that was the Golden State Warriors. Now they're getting a taste of their own medicine from the last 5 years. It will be fascinating to see what happens when they play the Thunder because, again, you know what the high point of the NBA is. And the Clippers haven't even fully actualized yet.
Right.
They have a chance to be incredible. They will win basically as many games as they decide they want to win this year. But if the Warriors don't look on par with a team like Oklahoma City, who is kind of a hot pick for some people, the real basketball nerds out there, they like the defense. They think Chris Paul's still got something. But they're a 40-win team. Optimistically, I mean fairly, if they don't look on par with them now, I just have a really hard time continuing to push the optimism narrative that we could have talked ourselves into early on, because all of the concerns that we had before the season started showed up in a big fat way when they played an elite team tonight. And if it's going to show up against middle of the pack teams, what's to say it's not going to show up against bottom of the pack teams too? The next few games are going to be fascinating for the Warriors because they got a big fat dose of reality. I just don't know where we go from here.
No, I think with the Clippers, we kind of got what we expected.
Yeah.
It was maybe worse than what we expected, but I think we expected them to lose this game.
The Warriors were 2-point favorites tonight in Vegas.
That was easy money. I wish I had known that before I got here. But they play Oklahoma City next, and I agree with you. I'm not as hot on the Thunder as a lot of people are. Then you play New Orleans without Zion Williamson, and then you play Phoenix back at the Chase Center. We already understand that the Warriors are a fringe playoff team, which we knew that coming into this Clippers game. These are the games that you have to win. You probably got to go 2 out of 3.
Yeah, you have to show that you are equal or better than those teams, because those are the teams you're really fighting with. The Clippers are on a different level. We could talk about this one for hours. Surely there will be a full day of Sports Talk Radio in the Bay Area tomorrow that will discuss all of this. The Warriors will play again, Saturday, Sunday? Who the hell knows? Sunday afternoon in Oklahoma City. That cannot come soon enough because they need to wash off a whole bunch of stink. Wes, any parting thoughts here?
No. that was
as depressing a basketball game as I've seen in a while.
One other thing. Steph Curry, 8 turnovers tonight. If he's forcing it, we're going to see more of that.
But how can he not force it? Who's he going to give the ball to? Oh, it's the beginning of the end, folks. We'll talk soon.